Grime crackers.
The lavender smell. I'm cozy, nestling on something knitted. Dim lights streaming through the cracks. I know where I am. Inside Grandma's wardrobe. The pouches with lavender are on virtually every shelf in here to give their scent to the clothes. I'm 10 and I'm playing hide and seek with my elder cousins, Mary, Sabina, and Ruth. It's our old tradition. The girls are already big, but they've never refused to play with me. Mary is the eldest. She's 17, and she only comes to visit Grandma in the summer. Her parents settled in the megalopolis on the opposite end of the country, and Mary often boasts about it. The other girls, including me, live here, in the small town on the outskirts of which is our grandma's house. Sabina is 13. Her parents are teachers and never have time for their daughter. As such, she visits Grandma more often than the rest of us. Ruth is 15, and she's the sheriff's daughter. Her mom died when she was little, and her dad gives her love for both of them and forgives her everything. And she's also having an affair with the boy from the neighborhood, Patrick. He's 17 and he comes from a family of medics. His elder brothers are jerks, though. So Patrick often goes away from home and comes to our grandma's, who's known and respected by the entire town. She used to be the principal of our school. And even though she's retired, she knows how to deal with her own and other people's teenage kids. It's rather late. Sitting in the cozy wardrobe, I begin dozing off. Suddenly, I hear rumbling, followed by quick footsteps. The light goes off in the room. Somebody approaches. I peek into the crack and see Mary. She's lying on the floor looking lifeless. Her head is tilted at an unnatural angle, like a doll's. Her eyes aren't moving. Somebody pulls her silk nightdress off her, but I can't see who's doing it. Somebody's hand takes off her M-shaped pendant from her neck. Then Mary is covered with a bedspread like she's dead. I feel a surge of panic. I close my eyes and press my hands to my ears. It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. I keep repeating in my mind. The next moment, something snatches me out of the nightmare, and I open my eyes. I'm 35. Patrick's pale face leans over me. This is the same boy from the neighborhood. Today, he's Ruth's husband, and my therapist, and he just did my first session of hypnosis. Recently, I have experienced anxiety attacks and difficulty sleeping. I've dreamed of Mary almost every night. In those dreams, she held out her pendant to me and then grabbed me by the hand and dragged me somewhere. Since she disappeared, I haven't seen Mary for 25 years. It happened on the same night that I recalled being hypnotized. According to the official version, my cousin drowned in the river, which was not far from the low hill on which Grandma's house stood. The body was never found. The police, led by Ruth's father, enlisted all available resources in the search conducted along the shore and beneath the water. However, the efforts proved futile. The divers said the strong current could take it somewhere very far away or somewhere where it would be impossible to find it. But recently, I accidentally saw the same M-shaped pendant at the pawn shop. Why am I so confident it was it? Because that piece is unique. Once, playing with Mary, I accidentally tore it off the chain. The gem that was in the middle of the letter fell out and we didn't find it. The pendant was later repaired, but the white gem was replaced with a green one. I was astonished by the find and immediately snapped it up as a memento of our eldest cousin, ever since the nightmares began. But the thing I saw being hypnotized scared me even more. Before that, I didn't remember much about that night, but the memories returned. Now I'm sure Mary lay in front of the wardrobe dead, but she couldn't die twice. Listening to me, Patrick looked worried. He reminded me that everybody saw Mary drown. He claimed my condition was close to a nervous breakdown and said that if I didn't rest and stop digging in the past, I would require serious treatment, probably at an institution. That night, I again dreamed of Mary. She was extremely upset and called me to Grandma's house. Therefore, in the morning, I promised myself to find the truth. The pendant could be a clue. I phoned my friend who worked at the pawn shop and asked her to find out as much as she could about the pendant, who had brought it, and where they had it from. Then I decided to visit Grandma's house to try to recall something else, and to speak to Sabina about the events of that night. After the tragedy, she distanced herself from Ruth and me all of a sudden. Could she be hiding something? I was surprised when Sabina agreed to meet immediately after she heard I'd found Mary's track. I arrived at the house first. Nobody had lived in there for a long time. The incident with Mary shocked Grandma so deeply that her heart stopped the same night. The rumors that the house was cursed spread around the town. Our grandpa was the first to die in it after he accidentally fell from the rooftop. As such, nobody wanted to live in it. I vividly saw the picture of that last meeting when we all got together. Me, Mary, Sabina, Ruth, and Patrick. Whenever Mary arrived, our parents let us go to play with her. On late nights when Grandma slept so tightly that even a cannon wouldn't wake her up, we arranged entertainments. As a rule, one of the adults watched over us. But that night, everybody had more important business to attend to. Excited, we threw a pajama party and put on silk nightdresses and colorful wigs that Mary brought as presents. We settled into the spacious living room on the first floor, and Sabina began telling our fortunes, using the tarot cards. I don't remember what I, Ruth, or Patrick got, but I still clearly see the death card that Mary had, although even if she was afraid, she didn't show it. To alleviate the tension, I suggested that we play hide and seek. The roar of a car outside interrupted my memories. Sabina appeared at the doorway. I told her I was trying to recollect the events of that night and asked my cousin to help me. Sabina recalled that while we were playing hide and seek, the light went out in the house and we all groped our way to the sitting room. Then we heard Patrick's voice outside. He was calling everyone to swim in the river. Ruth, as usual, supported his idea, and the three of us, me, Sabina, and Ruth, went out of the house. It was dark, and the sky was draped with clouds. I wasn't sure if Mary was with us, but Sabina said she clearly remembered her figure entering the water, wearing the shirt and the wig. Then she dove, as if she were dissolved in the dark water. Sabina and I were swimming next to each other not to get lost, waiting for Mary to break the surface. However, it never happened. We got scared and started calling her. Patrick came running. He dove again and again, but he didn't find Mary. Ruth phoned her father. The police started searching. Sabina woke up Grandma, and a few hours later an ambulance took her away with a heart attack. Sabina's voice trembled. She confessed that the fortune-telling was a stupid joke to scare our cousin. Because of it, Sabina felt guilty about her death. It was the reason she distanced herself from the rest of us. I recalled that Mary's relationship with the other girls was always strained. Sabina and Ruth thought Grandma preferred Mary. She received more attention and special gifts. The pendant was one of them. When Grandma gave it to Mary alone, it aroused a great scandal. After that, she had to buy jewelry for all her granddaughters. From then on, each of us had had a pendant in the shape of the first letter of her name. Mary especially annoyed Sabina. Her parents dropped her off at her grandparents since she was little, so Grandma became the closest person to Sabina. And it felt to her that Mary stole Grandma from her every time she arrived. And regarding Ruth, she was jealous of Patrick because Mary openly flirted with him. So, I was the only one who always looked forward to Mary's arrival. I liked listening about her adventures and looking at her makeup and jewelry. I was her little cousin while the rest were her rivals. The memories slowly returned. But I still didn't understand how Mary could die twice, or what happened to her body. Because after I climbed out of the wardrobe, Mary wasn't on the floor. Otherwise, I'd trip on her. Thinking of it, I went to the room with the wardrobe. There were stairways extending in two directions from it. One led to the second floor, while the other led to the basement. Our grandpa built everything in this house with his hands, but the stairs were his sore point, as Grandma kept scolding him that they were too steep. Suddenly, I remembered that on that night I bumped into somebody going out of the basement. But who could it be? My phone didn't let me concentrate. Ruth was trying to reach me, but I was ignoring her. I couldn't risk letting her husband know where I was because it was a violation of his recommendation as my therapist. Sabina and I went downstairs to the basement. Grandpa's shelving with tools was the only furniture down there. Visible scratches extended from it on the floor. Somebody had obviously moved it. I asked Sabina to help me, and together in a few approaches, we pushed it aside. The boards beneath the shelving were uneven, and the crooked nails stuck out. Grandpa would have never left it like that. I took the nail puller and extracted the crooked nails. I took the boars away and started digging the earth beneath them. Doing it, I was telling Sabina about the pawn shop, hypnosis, and my dreams. Then, a meter deep, the shovel hit something. The thing was wrapped in the waterproof tarpaulin coat Grandpa used to wear when he went fishing. We unwrapped it and were shocked to find human remains inside. My phone rang again. This time, it was my friend from the pawn shop. She told me they had no documents for the pendant. The security camera recording showed that the shop's manager accepted it personally from the boy who begged not far from the pawn shop. My friend often bought food for him. When she asked him about the pendant, he revealed to her that he was a liaison between the pawn shop and the thieves. Of course, he didn't give her their names, but he told her there were 2 pendants, not one. The second one was R-shaped. Both were stolen from an apartment full of psychology books. At that moment, Ruth entered the basement. I looked at her neck and saw she wasn't wearing the pendant she never took off. Seeing the remains, Ruth went pale and leaned forward, but she missed a step, and it was a miracle she didn't fall. The next thing we heard sent chills down our spines. Ruth started laughing, and then, nodding at the bones, she explained that she had just almost broken her neck, like Mary, whom we'd discovered, had. That was the beginning of her confession. On the night when we played hide-and-seek, Ruth was seeking. She heard Mary's quiet giggle from the upstairs bathroom. Ruth suspected something was wrong and rushed inside. There, she found Mary in her boyfriend's arms. Mary laughed. Ruth lost control over herself, ran at her cousin, and shoved her out of the bathroom. Mary kept laughing as if she were mocking Ruth. Ruth slapped her, and it would have been it, unless Mary had been dangerously close to the stairs. She lost her footing, rolled downstairs, and broke her neck. Having realized her cousin was dead, Ruth got scared. Patrick took the body to the closest room, the one with the wardrobe. Then he dressed as Mary, which wasn't hard thanks to the wig and the nightdress, and Ruth cut off the light in the house. In the dark, he then took her to the basement, and then I ran into Patrick when he was on his way out of there. Afterward, the boy staged the incident in the river. While everybody was busy searching for her, he buried the body in the basement and covered the traces. Since the 3 of us claimed we witnessed Mary dive in the river and disappear, nobody even thought to look for her body in the house, just as nobody thought I was hiding in the wardrobe. When she learned it from Patrick, Ruth realized she couldn't hide the truth anymore. She found Sabina and me to apologize for her mistake that we involuntarily witnessed, and when she was done, she called the police herself. Our deeds always influence not only us, but also the people around us. Sometimes they hurt our dearest people even more than us. It's impossible to avoid making mistakes, but we can always try to fix them, especially given that Ruth didn't kill our cousin, and it was a mere misfortune that cost her life.
Crime Crackers.